It's morning at the Isle of Wight Zoo, and it's going to be a busy start for the park's only white tiger, Zena. The 11-year-old tigress lost an eye, and her keepers need to know how good her sight is in the other. She suffers from cataracts. Medication is helping, and she doesn't seem to be in any pain, but no one actually knows how much she can really see.
Cats do have stereoscopic vision. In other words, they see things with both eyes and they focus on one target, very much like we do. And it's binocular vision, so they can focus on things right in front of them or a long distance away. So having one eye can cause depth perceptions problems. So we're just literally seeing how she's getting on with it today.
Hunting plays an important role in the big cat's lives. But because the zoo doesn't feed its cats live prey, the staff have devised a unique pole that allows these predators to use their stalking instincts. This exercise will allow the keepers to see just how good Zena's depth perception and movement senses are.
Cats love to chase things and they love to take things down that are moving. Cats are very inspired by movement. It's probably the one thing that really does set them off. So yeah, this has a very fun element to it as well.
Unlike the other cats, Zena doesn't appear to spot the prey straight away.
Zena, go on, girl. Okay, I'm just lowering it nice and low now so that she sees it in her line of sight. Yeah, there she goes. She's just got to try and work out how to do it, I think. Try and work out how it all works again. Zena, this way. She's aware that there's some food around there, but she's not 100% with it. I'm trying to move it a bit to stimulate her a little bit. Okay, I'm right down by her high sight now, her line of sight. If I go any further, I'll be dropping on her head. Good girl. Okay, she's seen the meat. I'm just going to make her try and work for it a bit now. That's it. There she goes. Okay, that's good.
Keith has to practically give Zena the prize. He's not sure if it's entirely because she can't see properly or she's just a bit rusty at this game.
She hasn't done it for a little while, so she's really got to learn how it works again. We're going to try it again and see how we go, because I think she's got the taste for it now, so I think we can try it again. I'll make a noise on the grass out there, hopefully distract you a little bit. Not focusing at all. She just doesn't. She does a reaction, all right, but there's clearly still big problems with her eyesight in her one remaining eye. How we modify this to the enrichment, we're going to have to find out, but it's clear then that we had to be not very aggressive with the meat at all, and we had to move it very, very slowly, and even then she was hardly picking it up. I very carefully then moved it through the grass, which is what the prey would normally do, and it wouldn't normally be about 2 foot in front of her face, admittedly, but she was even having trouble picking that up, so it's clear that there's still a big problem, that we have to talk about it and modify enrichment so it's not the same as the other cats, because any other cat would have had that in about 2 seconds flat.
Tigers usually catch their victims using their powerful limbs and flexible backbone. Their bodies are built for capturing and killing large prey with stealth and sudden attack.
Lola, for instance, can spring up in the air to about 6 feet. She's incredibly athletic. When she's actually in mid-air at full flight, she's actually striking the prey item about 3 times and hitting it successfully and biting it in mid-air in one leap. Zena, at one occasion, actually swiped at an imaginary object in mid-air that that didn't actually exist. The object had actually moved a couple of seconds before. So she's aware that something's there. She's got the right reactions, but her eyesight isn't telling her brain what to do as quickly as you'd expect.
For Zena's last treat, they're going to help her spot her prey by giving her an extra large chicken.
I've purposely chosen a white one out of the chickens that we've got to make it stand out against the background, to give her a bit of a helping hand and as a final reward for what she's done.
But even this large prey is causing the 11-year-old problems. Now, a tiger's sense of smell is nowhere near as good as a dog's, but it's still 4 times better than ours. And it's this that's also helping Zena sense the prey is near.
See, a tiger is supposed to be able to slash like that and get its target first time.
Eventually, Zena manages a good strike and claims her rightful prize.
Well, this enrichment has really shown us, I think, the severity of her eyesight problems. You really have to dangle it in front of her face for her to actually see it. So this might throw up other issues.
To keep her stimulated and happy, the team will have to think up new ways of encouraging Zena's natural behaviour, where she doesn't have to rely solely on her sight. In the wild, tigers live mostly a solitary lifestyle. They generally only come together to breed. At the zoo, 2 pairs of cats live together because of their background in captivity, and the rest live on their own. But their enclosures are designed so they can make visual contact and smell each other's scent. They also swap enclosures, which helps this process. But there is one male who's become increasingly unhappy with his living arrangements.
When Mysore actually first came here, he was a juvenile, and we already had Zia and Zena living here. He was a similar age, and we did actually integrate them together, and it was really successful. So they lived as a threesome for some while, and then Zia and Zena started picking on him. So when we relocated them into different sites in the zoo, we decided it was the right time to actually split the group up. Mysore was then given a bachelor pad, so he's living by himself, but next door to Zia and Zena and Diamond and Aisha. So he had quite a lot of tiger company.
Mysore's old neighbours have now moved into the zoo's newer enclosures, leaving him with just the lion boys for company.
It's pretty fair to say, I think, that Mysore, being left without Zia and Zena now and Diamond and Aisha, is feeling just a little bit sort of insecure, I think, as well. He's been a little bit more jumpy around us. A little bit more insecure in his surroundings. And he was calling quite a lot as well, so I think it's just going to be fairer to him to try and give him some company of his own kind.
There is an area of the zoo which is out of public view. It's an ideal quiet home for new rescued cats, who can be the most nervous. The plan is to move Mysore into this quiet area, where he'll have a tigress next door to him. He'll swap places with 2 tigers who are now more confident, Lola and Chandru. This will be the cat team's biggest ever tiger move. 11-year-old Lola is the first to be anaesthetised, and vet Ian can do a full health check on her.
Tell you what, she's got the best teeth of all your tigers. There's a little bit of sore skin there, but it's nothing too terrible.
What do you think, that's just a little bit wet and damp?
It could be because she's had some stuff just dry on her here and just rubbed it a little bit sore.
You don't think?
I don't believe so, no. But I needed to shave that off just so I could see.
All the tigers have individual characteristics, and Lola's whiskers are certainly individual to her. They're the longest of all of the tigers at the zoo, but having her sedated gives Education Officer Tracy the opportunity to measure them properly.
Lola's whiskers on the other side, the longest one was 18 centimetres. I need to measure the other cats
I think
now.
it may just be she's laid down.
19
and
centimetres
stuff.
this side.
No, no,
There's normally a cat's whiskers are the width of its body from span from one side to the other. But hers are enormous, so she's not that fat, I'm sure.
Last year, the team hoped they could pair up Indian tiger Lola with the big male Chandru, as they seemed to have a very good relationship through the fence. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. And that's why Lola and Chandru now take it in turns to use their outdoor enclosure. Lola has been taken across the park to swap with Mysore, but before she can move into her new bedroom, he will be sedated for his move, just in case he's stressed out by the sight of a strange new tiger. At the Isle of Wight Zoo, a big tiger move is underway. Indian male tiger Mysore was unhappy where he was, so he's swapping enclosures with two other tigers, Chandru and Lola. Lola has been moved into her new home, and Mysore is now moving out. But there's a big difference between lifting the female and the male.
Significantly heavier, definitely, or we've lost some energy in the last half an hour.
Well, it's a sign of weakness, I think, but that's fine.
It's quite a while since we sedated Mysore. He would have been a juvenile when we last sedated him. So, yeah, it's the first time we've lifted him for a while, and we know about it. He's a really heavy boy.
Male tigers are a third bigger than females, and Mysore weighs over 35 stone.
The difference is three back strains and 2 inguinal hernias.
As vet Ian continues Mysore's health check, Education Officer Tracy gets measuring again.
Yeah, I've gotten interested now. Lola's whiskers are huge, and now I just want to see how they compare with the others. You can see Mysore's are much shorter, so I just want to have a look and see. A measly 12 centimetres.
I mean, that's fairly fresh, so whether you did that just now...
Who says size doesn't matter?
Oh, yeah.
The tigers are being moved from one side of the zoo to the other. Now, they've all been given enough anaesthetic, but the team can never afford to be complacent. It's a race against time. Next to move is Chandru. He's on the lookout because he's realised that his neighbour and feisty companion Lola has gone. But he doesn't have long to worry before he too is darted. Chandru is 10 stone heavier than Mysore, so the team decide to pull him through his bedroom door rather than walk through the enclosure.
I think we might need some more manpower. Greg,
Not only is Chandru one of the heaviest tigers, he's also got the largest upper canine teeth.
yeah.
7.
These are what we're looking
So it's
at.
about 7 centimetres.
7 centimetres upper canines.
Yeah.
He's got a full set as well.
The keepers have brought the cats' old bedding into their new bedrooms so they can smell their own scent when they wake up. This gives them some comfort and security whilst they get used to their new surroundings. And Charlotte is keen to check on Lola, who was anaesthetised and moved first.
She's coming round. She's actually chuffing at me, which is a really nice sign, because obviously we always feel pretty rotten after something like this. And there's always that chance it's going to damage the bond that you've got with them. But, yeah, she's a bit confused. Not quite sure what's going on, but, yeah, she's fine.
The Isle of Wight Zoo is best known for its big cats, but it's also home to lemur land. There were thought to be over 70 species of lemur, and all are now classified endangered. So for the last 16 years, the zoo has operated a breeding programme for these primates. The last ring-tailed lemur born here is 1-year-old Mangoki, or Mango for short. She was rejected by her mum and hand-reared by primate supervisor Lisa. Mango now lives full-time at the zoo with the other lemurs, But her next step is going outside into a big enclosure, and it's making her old foster mum pretty nervous.
Obviously, because Mangoki was hand raised, she hasn't had the experience of the electric fence. All our other ring-tailed lemurs, they learn off their mums, because the mums, none of our ring-tails now know where the electric fence is and they won't climb that high. Mango's never had that experience, so she's got to understand what the electric fence is, and she is probably going to be inquisitive and find out what it is. Hopefully she'll learn the first time she touches it not to go back up there again. We've got our plan if she doesn't, but I'm kind of hoping she is, but I'm hoping that she's going to be more excited that she's got the trees and she's got all this space now to run around in. Come on then. Good girl. Come on.
Keeper Steph will stay by the electric box in case Mangoki gets too friendly with the fence, whilst Lisa encourages her outside.
All right. Good girl.
Mangoki has been living in a roofed enclosure with her brother and uncle, so the open sky is a bit daunting. This new enclosure is also 6 times bigger than what she's been used to.
Good girl. You want to come down a little bit?
Mango is clearly settling down, and now she's got food on her mind.
Oh, and there we go, just like a grandma eating.
The key now is to regulate Mango's interaction with the security fence.
With Mango, we've seen different behaviours with the rest of the troop. When we've had no, hang on, wait.
Well, turn it on or off?
No, turn it on.
Now, of course, the voltage doesn't actually harm the lemurs, but it is unpleasant enough to discourage them from climbing up the fence. The problem here is that Mango has got stuck between the security fence and the enclosure fence, so the voltage must be switched off so she doesn't get too frightened.
On. All right, bub.
Just like the other lemurs, Mango now knows not to go near the fence, but her experience has caused a bit of agitation amongst the rest of the group.
All right, Mango.
So it looks like the team should quit while they're ahead.
Right, can you open the door? Open the door if they want to go back in, let them in. Right, get them in, okay? You go round, get the food, just get the main group in, okay? She's never seen the ringtail's reaction in this type of a large enclosure before, you know, and obviously they started running, and because she still hasn't quite, her understanding lemur behaviour isn't quite as good as what it would be if she was parent raised, and I think that's sometimes where she gets a little bit panicky, is because she can't read the adult's behaviour quite as well as what she should. I think what we're going to have to do is just do it in lots of little stages with her.
The 3 tigers from this morning's Big Cat move are all settled into their new enclosures. So now, animal manager Charlotte has the chance to check up on one of the other tigers who's been causing concern. It's been a week since Tigress Zarina had a hysterectomy. Exploratory surgery had revealed a large lump confined to her uterus.
Zarina.
Since the operation, Charlotte and the team have been giving the 14-year-old cat a lot of TLC.
She's doing really well, considering the fact that she's had quite a major operation, really. She's certainly not complaining too much about it, but she's still not looking quite like Zarina, so she's a bit subdued and she's not eating as much as she normally would be. But we're really pleased to see her certainly up and about, and also keeping clear of those stitches as well. We were slightly concerned was she going to start, licking the area where she was stitched up. But to all intents and purposes, yeah, she's doing really well.
To ensure a full recovery, Zarina will need to be kept inside for another week.
What we do really is manage them on a low amount of pain relief, and the reason for that is to prevent them thinking that, you know, they're okay and they'll start doing too much, and then obviously they could cause damage because she's still got the internal stitches that are working as well to sort of heal everything up. So it's not like with ourselves, obviously we know that we've got to be careful for our own good, we've got to take it really easy. For these guys, if they don't have the pain there as their reminder that there's a problem, then obviously as far as they're concerned, they're all right, then they can overwork themselves and do damage. And wild animals obviously have a capacity and a capability to recover more quickly than we do because they have to. And in the wild, they have to be able to regenerate and sort of, you know, get on with the job in hand, basically.
Since Zarina had the operation, Charlotte has been anxiously waiting to see if the lump was malignant or benign.
It was a day for celebration yesterday. The lab results came through to say that it was a non-cancerous fibrous tumour in her uterus, which is sort of just smooth muscle cells basically, and then fibrous connective tissue forming a mass. It's really quite common. It would have been causing her some general discomfort really, maybe rather than pain. But obviously it was quite large, so you know, she would have been feeling a little bit out of sorts. But it's now something which is done and dusted. It obviously can't reoccur. So yeah, we're really pleased.
The Isle of Wight Zoo is home to 18 tigers, and this morning, one of them isn't feeling well.
Go ahead.
Hi Charlotte, when we let Zarina out, we had a look at her coming out now, and her mouth didn't look that great this morning. She had quite a lot of saliva coming out of it, as well as looked the area where we saw the problem with the tooth.
Yeah, okay, Paul, I'm on my way.
It's been 2 weeks since the 14-year-old tigress had her hysterectomy. Vet Ian Green removed a benign tumour from her uterus, and she has been recovering well. But the team have now noticed she's suffering from painful teeth.
Hi, Paul. So, how are we looking with the teeth?
Well, I mean, as it is, just from watching it coming out in it, there's very much a certain amount of discomfort. She spends a lot of time licking that area, and she's even using a paw a bit to sort of rub it. So I think there's a fair amount of discomfort.
Right. Well, I think we should contact Ian then, and then put up a plan for probably knocking her out again. And it sounds like it might be an extraction job.
Probably.
Zarina seems to be in a lot of pain, so the operation will happen today. At the other side of the zoo, they're encouraging natural behaviour from the park's only white tiger, Zena. The process is called enrichment, and it's something she hasn't experienced before.
This is actually a boomable that's been converted into a bit of a rattle. What we've done is we've got a hard plastic ball inside. We've put lots of little stones in there, so it makes quite an interesting sound. And of course, we wrapped it up with fire hose. So the idea is that when the tiger gets hold of it, they've got an area to grip on it and to pull it around and play with it.
8 months ago, Zena had to have her right eye removed. She was in severe pain from a condition called glaucoma and a dislocated retina. She recovered better than anyone could have hoped, but last week the team discovered that the vision in her remaining eye was worse than expected.
The pole PT didn't really work from that point of view where we could actually get her to work her muscles and that and to jump or to focus. So hopefully with something like this, we'll have a much different sort of comeback, a positive one, because she'll be able to see it visually. It is quite a lot larger. It's on the ground as well, so she'll be focused down, looking down for something, and it's going to be different. It's a different sort of article as well that she can play with.
Unfortunately, Zena doesn't spot the new toy. But she can smell something different, and guided by scent, she tests the new object. But she's not sure about the unfamiliar sound. Although Zena's sight is impaired, she does have acute hearing. Tigers' lower levels are set at a lower frequency than ours, but their upper limits are about 6 or 7 times higher. The team hope that this noisy enrichment will be perfect for Zena.
With cats, generally, you've got to be adaptive. You've got to try and outthink them in every possible way. Zena, like all the other tigers, her eyes are attached to her stomach. She just sees everything as food as possible. Meat is the one thing that they'll all love, but you can't keep feeding them meat. You've got to try and find other ways to stimulate them. So we use the boom balls in the water in that form. It's like she'll go in and she grabs it out and she rolls it around and pulls it around with her. She gets her claws in and it looks really quite cool when she does it. It's the same with all cats, right from even the lions who we give them cardboard boxes. They act like a sort of overgrown domestic cat at the end of the day. They all love something that they can destroy.
But destroying her new toy is the last thing on Zena's mind. The ball is surrounded by fire hose, and Zena's not keen on its taste or its texture. As she's not interested, her sister Zia is let in to have a go. Zia is slightly dominant over her sibling, so she makes her claim.
Oi, Zia, come back here.
Zia can be a cat that's quite hard to please, but it seems she's taken with this new texture. The toy is now hers.
But I think by introducing Zia into it, what we've done is also create a little bit of a competition between the two, because they both want, when they got it, they seem to establish that sort of it's their toy, even though they don't know what to do with it. I think it's more about sort of maybe more mentally stimulating than physical work, and also it's interesting to see that there's a dominant structure as well with these two females, so it's quite nice.
Every nook and cranny is tested and tasted, and Zia's had enough. Zena wasn't initially interested, but if it's good enough for her sister, then it's good enough for her too. Back with Zarina, vet Ian Green is here to operate. It's a worrying time for the team. It hasn't been long since she had her hysterectomy, and anaesthetics close together can be dangerous. But Zarina is feeling really unwell, so it's the only option. The 14-year-old has got wise to Ian's presence with a dart gun, so today he's opted to use the small window in her bedroom. Ian uses a prod to make sure that Zarina is definitely asleep before they go in. She's notoriously difficult to anaesthetise, and if he didn't do this check, the consequences could be disastrous.
It's just moved a bit when I...
Okay, a bit more time.
A couple more minutes. Yeah. Yeah, that's loose.
Within just a few minutes, Ian can see the problem is worse than they thought.
What I've found is that we've had quite a progression of disease going on here since she was spayed. One of her teeth further back is now actually loose in its sockets. The canine here is markedly loose. Yeah, and there's clearly a lot of pus and blood coming out. Now, hopefully it is just purely as a result of infection. The second possibility, though, and that infection is tracked back along the bone to cause loosening of the other tooth. The other possibility is, could there be tumour there? And there's insufficient swelling for me to be convinced on the possibility of tumour, and certainly this is all consistent with just infection. So that's what I'm hopeful of.
Blood and tissue samples from the infected area will show the extent of the infection. The first tooth that Ian removes is a small carnassial tooth. These are the ones that tear meat. Tigers have 12 of these, so removing just one shouldn't cause Zarina too many problems.
I've taken one out so far, and a large canine tooth is going to come out now.
At 8 times the size of a human tooth, a tiger canine should be harder to remove.
It's so loose, I mean, it's not...
Wow. Jesus, I can feel that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to want to send some of that tissue off.
With the canine tooth pulled out, Keeper Paul can see something isn't right.
Do you think in that flesh around the tooth, do you think it's something to...
I am concerned that that's a nasty tumour. I'm now 90% sure this is tumour. Oops.
And what's the chances of it not being...
Sorry, not being malignant? Oh, 0. So yeah, if this is tumour, this is, you know, when you see the changes they've been, you know, just in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
It's been a difficult few weeks for Zarina, so this new possible diagnosis is devastating to Charlotte and the team.
If it is tumour, then we're talking about cancer. So, not what we wanted to find out. We have had a tiger with cancer in the mouth before. There's nothing that you can do. So it's another waiting game. Find out the results from the lab.
We'll have that result back in a handful of days, and unless, I mean, if she has perked up dramatically as a consequence of taking these out, okay, she can keep going a little bit longer, but if it is malignant tumour, we are going to have to call it a day. Yeah.
The keepers at the Isle of Wight Zoo have their work cut out creating imaginative ways to keep the big cats stimulated and healthy. Today, Helen is making what they call an enrichment that will hopefully excite the cats. The idea is a feeder log. Holes are drilled into a thick and sturdy piece of wood, and meat will be placed inside them. Big cats are destructive, so strong fire hose will be wrapped around the wood. This will also give the cats something to grip onto as they attack the object. First up is Jaguar Chiquita. She immediately spots the log and attacks. A jaguar is the ultimate predator, and in the wild, almost no prey is too ambitious to target. This enrichment is proving extremely effective. Chiquita's using all of her muscles, and that growling noise is an aggressive and possessive vocalization. She's letting everyone know that she's particularly excited and would fight to the death to keep hold of her prey. Across the way, 11-year-old male tiger Chandru is also getting his teeth into the same enrichment. And just like Chiquita, he's very excited by it. The meat hidden in the holes is horse meat. It's very pungent and a particular favourite with the big cats. Tiger teeth are 8 times larger than ours and extremely strong. Chandru's powerful jaw and teeth are supporting his very large 45-stone frame. He's displaying typical tiger behaviour. In the wild, if they can't pull an animal down in one swipe, they'll grip onto a vulnerable area. Once their jaws lock, they'll hang there and calm down to restore their energy before they have another go. Back with Jaguar Chiquita. She's still engrossed with her enrichment. The Jaguar's jaws seem stronger than those of the other big cats, and Chiquita is using them to hold her entire body weight. This constant tension is a brilliant physical workout for Chiquita. She's also using her brain, ears, and her sense of smell. Everything is being put to good use, even her sense of spatial awareness. She is clearly trying to protect her kill from anyone who might want to take it away from her.
It was a very aggressive attack on it. It was almost as if it was a living, breathing animal in her enclosure. It's just the most amazing response, really, yes. She grabbed it with the front legs and used that raking action that they do in the wild with their back feet, and like your domestic cat will. As you grab hold of it, it rakes with its back feet. Now, the cats were doing almost exactly that action. The action with the rear feet is to disembowel the prey from underneath. So what we saw there was a very natural response to something that they really loved and wanted to get hold of.
Chandru is still trying to kill his prey, and he's using fighting technique. You see, tigers fight by standing up on their back legs and holding their paws out on either side. A tiger's claw measures around 1.5 inches long, and it's as sharp as a razor blade. And this makes them a devastating predator. And once their claws sink in, unless they want to let go, there's no escape.
Chandru put a lot of effort into nuking this. And the fire hose is a pretty strong material, and it's designed to hold a long lifetime. And he's done some serious work on it. And see, that's where the canine was in through this. So I had a really good time. Look at this, it's good damage.
The Isle of Wight Zoo stopped its tiger breeding programme several years ago to create a centre for unwanted, surplus or rescued big cats, all in need of long-term care. Their mission to home more tigers continues, and in the office, animal manager Charlotte has some good news.
I'm looking at Rambo's card out of America, really. This is the final paperwork from Wildlife and Fisheries in America that say it's A-OK for Rambo to leave and come back to his roots, back to the UK. We've been waiting a long time for this.
Sadly, there are more tigers in captivity than remain in the wild. 11-year-old Rambo worked in the US as a performing animal for a few years. Then he was given temporary refuge in Florida. His full background is uncertain, so the team here are unsure what to expect.
We don't know, what he's experienced in his past. We weren't there, we don't know. He's had experiences that we will never know about. We know that his living conditions have been far from ideal. Where he's living now, they've done their best to care for him in the right way, but we don't know, for example, when he was living in Texas, because he went to Texas to, play a role in sort of being a celebrity tiger, opening hotels and so forth. We don't know the conditions that were attached to that. We don't know how he was persuaded to do the work that he had to do. So we have got to take that all into consideration, be very, very calm and very careful with getting to know him, and try and just read between the lines. He can't tell us his story, so we've got to try and piece everything together a bit like a jigsaw and get as close to a true representation of the animal that we're looking after, character-wise, as possible. So it's a challenge we're all looking forward to.
While Charlotte finalises the paperwork, Rambo's future home is being built, and it's almost finished.
I'm sat in the new exhibit, which Rambo should be coming into when he's finished his quarantine. I am in the Isle of Wight Zoo. This could be India because it looks exactly like what I was sat on a year ago in India, and we have recreated it as closely as we can do, being its UK climate as well. It's got lots of bamboo that will take hold, that you can hide in amongst. So quite a culture shock for him when he gets in here after 6 months. But you know, hopefully he'll enjoy it, and we're not far off completion now. A few more weeks to go of hard work, and then it will settle down for a while, and he'll be moving in.
It's taken 6 months to build, and it's the third in the zoo's grand project to recreate 5 natural environments for the big cats. The other 2 enclosures have been designed around jungle and water themes. This new one, though, will appeal to the tigers in a different way.
Tigers do like to get high off the ground and look down on their surroundings. So we've got the pile of rocks here you can see behind me, which goes up to sort of 6 metres in height, and with him standing on it, he'll be 7 metres up. So he'll be able to look over the whole zoo and the whole of the seafront here, and enjoy his views.
At the moment, Rambo is living in a flat area, but this enclosure's design should improve his physical state.
He'll be able to climb over the rocks, and he should put some muscle on, so I think that'll be much better for him. He'll be a much fitter cat after a while.
It's been a few days since Tigress Zarina's operation to remove infected teeth. The concern was that the mass surrounding her canine tooth was cancerous. Sadly, the results showed that it was. She had an aggressive form of oral cancer. It's quite common in tigers, but it's not treatable. As difficult as it is for the keepers, they have to do what's best for the animal, and Zarina would have been in great pain, so the kindest thing was to put her to sleep.
It's never ever easy, and it doesn't matter how many times you experience that, it doesn't get any easier at all, because it's every individual animal, then you've got a different and special relationship with that animal. When it comes to a close, obviously, there's a kind of a mourning period for that, really. So that's the harder end of the job.
Zarina had lived at the park since she was 18 months old.
I've never had a conversation with Zarina in the 14 years she was here, but I felt closer to her than to many people. She's been a handful, actually. She's been a handful, but she's been, a tiger that we've enjoyed every moment of, really. She's been a very outspoken member of the cat sanctuary and always held her own. It feels a little bit eerie, to be honest, without her here.
Until recently, Zarina had been a healthy and active cat, but at 14, she was an older tiger.
In the wild, 15 years, and that's it. She'd be a really old lady by then. So, to get to the age of 14 years, then that's not a bad run in the full scheme of things. Although, obviously, when we're looking at things from quite a subjective angle, we feel dreadful, and that's only natural, and that feeling is going to last for a while, but then we're going to be able to reflect and look back and know that when Zarina was with us here, we gave her good quality of life, and we were with her, in fact, right to the end, which is important for us as well.